Now, I like to think he isn't a bad guy, but in a lot of ways, him being a good guy would be more upsetting to certain people. It implies that something is wrong with the world, and maybe he's what we're looking for, a cure for what ails us. Gwen Stacy, referring to Harry Osborn, who is the Green Goblin. Peter Parker's secret life starts fraying the edges of his personal life. J. Jonah Jameson and Ben Parker's pursuit of truth, or at least the news, stirs unrest with the world at large. And now that Spider-Man may not have to operate alone, the real work of rebuilding this corrupt world can begin. Ultimate Spider-Man, Volume 3, Issue 4. Peter and Mary Jane are out on the town, which is rare for them because ever since they had kids, they don't get out exactly as they used to. Normally, they wouldn't even be able to set foot in a restaurant as exclusive and hotty-toddy as this. Thankfully, Peter has someone opening doors for him in the form of Harry Osborn. Harry Osborn had discovered the secret identity of Spider-Man, who is, of course, is Peter Parker, and that Harry Osborn himself is the vigilante known as the Green Goblin. They had gotten a drink last month, and they have become friends, colleagues, or partners. Harry says the crowd here can be a bit insufferable, just awful people. I eat here at least once a week. This is the first encounter of Mary Jane meeting Harry Osborn. However, there will be another encounter for Mary Jane and Peter to meet Harry's wife for the first time, who is Gwen Stacy. 20 years ago, the Maker prevented a radioactive spider from biting a young Peter Parker. He likewise prevented the creation of any other superheroes and formed a secret council to rule the world from the shadow. 3 months ago, Tony Stark sent Peter, now a married father of two, that same radioactive spider along with a Picotech suit and warnings of the Maker's Council. The spider's bite gifted Peter incredible powers that he used to aid a mass vigilante called Green Goblin against an assassin sent by Wilson Fisk, an agent of the Maker's Council. Somehow, Green Goblin was able to take control of Peter's Picotech suit, expose his identity, but he also revealed himself as Harry Osborn, the billionaire heir of Oscorp Industries. According to Harry at dinner, Gwen Stacy has become a major power player in the business world, all on her own. She's actually a billionaire and achieved this by herself. The conversation eventually turns towards Mary Jane, who works in public relations. Similar to her counterpart in the 616 universe, Mary Jane started as a model, but this MJ was extra proactive. She took control of her own image, handled all her own marketing, and did such a good job that she started getting paid by other people to do it. It wasn't long before she was hired by one of the bigger companies and got her own corner office with a big salary. However, Mary Jane didn't like compromising her morals, especially when asked to work from some sort of evil person or corporation in crisis management, including Norman Osborn and the old Oscorp. This is why Mary Jane recently decided to strike out on her own and start her own PR company. One of her first brand new clients is Ben and J. Jonah Jameson, brand new news endeavor, a name that Mary Jane actually gave to the two old guys. J. Jonah Jameson and Ben Parker are babysitting the Parker kids. Mary Jane came up with the name The Paper, which will be an online publication rather than in print. May Parker is not a big fan of J. Jonah Jameson. The question is, why does Mary Parker not like Jonah? The question arises at the table as Mary Jane asks Harry Osborn and Gwen Stacy if they have any children. Gwen, with her head down, responds, "Children? No, I like to think I'd be a good mom, but none for us yet. We're considering it, though." Harry chimes in, stating the world we're bringing them into has changed. Mary Jane interrupts with more questions, asking about the duration of their marriage. Harry responds, "Oh, who can say? Hard to keep track when every day is a dream." These initial conversations prompt further questions about Gwen Stacy's whereabouts before this dinner, how she became a billionaire on her own, and the true dynamic between Gwen Stacy and Harry Osborn. Harry Osborn expresses his disdain for newspapers, believing that they often report inaccurate information and push biased agendas, particularly under Wilson Fisk's control at the Daily Bugle. Gwen Stacy, however, sees hopes in the potential of these two old news people running the news site and their willingness to delve deep into news stories. She remarks, "I can think of a few reasons why a couple of crusty old guys with nothing to lose might be useful." Gwen acknowledges Peter's commendable work in capturing images of Spider-Man vigilante. Peter admits that he currently works for the Bugle, but acknowledges acknowledges that circumstances could change. Being a fan of Spider-Man herself, Gwen recognizes that he is feeling a need in the market as people have long been eager for this type of hero. Gwen has expressed herself and indicates she would like to visit the ladies' room. Mary Jane offers to accompany her, adding a reminder for the two boys to behave in their absence. In the ladies' room, Gwen Stacy explains that Oscorp absorbed everything from the now defunct Stark and Stain company. This is why the Green Goblin was able to manipulate the Pico suit. Gwen adds that the company has way too much money sitting around. She expresses her hope to Mary Jane as the brand manager that she could set something up between her and the grumpy old men of the paper. Gwen is inclined to see if she could help launch Jonah and Ben's newspaper by giving money to the paper. This seems suspicious, similar to what happened at the Daily Bugle. Wilson Fisk. Harry Osborn questions Peter if he has told Mary Jane about his superpowers and what he does at night. Harry Osborn does not have any secrets from Gwen Stacy and is insinuating that she knows Peter is Spider-Man. Peter responds, I haven't told MJ because look, it's not that I don't trust her or anything. That would be ridiculous, but I have to protect them, don't I? Harry Osborn challenges Peter's beliefs, saying, you seriously think you can live this life and insulate the people you love from the consequences? Harry admits he's just a guy with a suit, but Peter has abilities and is more. Osborn emphasizes it's on us to save the world. Peter counters, for the first time in my life, I'm doing something I'm good at, stopping bad people from doing bad things. It feels right. Peter expresses skepticism about the idea of saving the world, stating, it sounds too big. Harry says, I'm not going to tell you what you have to do, Peter, or how to do it. It's not my place. It's not my call. You have to decide that. Nobody's forcing you to come along for the ride, but you need to understand where this is headed and what we're up against. These people, they're playing God and they're playing for keeps. And worse than that, they've been doing it our whole lives. It's institutional. It's systematic. It's the whole damn world. Harry Osborn delivers the iconic line, you have great power, Peter, and with great power comes great responsibility. It's such a gift, but only if you use it. MJ and Peter are walking home discussing their evening. MJ admits she likes the Osborns, but she finds them really scary and intense. Peter then asks, does the world need heroes? MJ responds, what do I need heroes for, Peter? I've got you. The end of the evening with Peter's hand over MJ's shoulder and MJ's hand over Peter's back. Next, Ultimate Spider-Man, Volume 3, Issue 5.